Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. What?
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I had a wild weekend, guys. I was sick, and then I wasn't, and I was on a show last night that I forgot I was supposed to be on. Ended up being on that show at midnight last night, which was pretty crazy. Good show, though. Good group of guys. Was a lot of fun. Welcome, Lawrence R. Not sure if I know who you are, but welcome. Most are welcome here. Let me just introduce the chat to the chat, since you all know who you are. 13 was first in chat today, followed closely by Seriously Shelby and Anson Knowles. Damien, our parkour expert, was like fourth in chat. By the way, Damien does have a channel, and it's pretty good. You guys should check it out. Imperious obviously is out there in the chat. He got his I Don't Give a Fuck song fix, and so he's probably fucked off by now. Moxie Whites is in the Wits, whatever, you're gonna have to tell me how to say that. Moxie is in the chat, along with Wrongful Rage. I see you out there, brother. Good to see you. And Lawrence, I see you out there. Good to see you as well. Arakar Oak is in the chat. He's a solid dude as well. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one. So RD Chico is out in the house. That's good, man. That's good. Lots of good people. Hopefully we get more just kind of flowing in, but we'll see how it rolls. So Moxie asked about the racing thing. So here's the deal behind the whole racing career that I had. So I started out as a club racing driver. I built a car, built a bunch of other car. And at some point I realized that even though I was an okay driver, I was a much better technician, mechanic, and to some degree driver coach as well. So I ended up going to work. I did some restoration work first, and then I ended up going to work for a shop in North Carolina that only did, mostly Porsche racing. Although we won the Daytona 24 in 2001 in a Camaro. Not really a Camaro; it's a two-frame car, but looked like a Camaro. And so we won that rate. We won our class. We took a class win, and I think we were 21st overall. I could look; it's a matter of record. So, then I went. I was there for a couple of years. Had a lot of fun. Kind of lost some interest in what we were doing there, because even though it was a lot of fun, we did everything: Porsche Club, pro racing, SCCA, HSR, VSRA. It didn't matter if the car could be raced there and it was a Porsche or Porsche adjacent, more or less, we were racing it. And did a lot of 935s. At one point in time, I was the youngest person in the country, might still be the youngest person in the country, that actually knew how to tune and adjust the mechanical fuel injection on a 935 K3 Porsche. Whatever. And then I had kind of a falling out with the guys there. It's not because the work wasn't interesting. It wasn't because it was. It certainly wasn't boring, but it was. It got to be like kind of I was seeing the same people. I wasn't really and I really wanted to go. I thought I really wanted to go into pro racing. Pro racing is like a whole different creature, and it's a lot more money. And so I ended up being basically a mercenary, and you would hire me if you had a race team and you needed a good technician, you needed somebody who knew their shit. I would go out and you would pay me money, and I would fly out, and I didn't pay for anything out of my own pocket from the time I left my front door until the time I walked back in. I mean, even a stick of gum, I didn't pay for shit. The team, whoever hired me had to pay for everything, food, equipment. If I got there and I needed a set of fireproof gloves, team owner had to buy them for me. That's just the way my contract worked, and they were happy to sign my contract. I was really good at what I did, and made pretty decent money doing that, and I got kind of a good reputation. And after about 2 years doing that, I was approached by a couple of different companies to go to work for them. And the company that I was most interested in was actually the SCCA Enterprises, they were developing a new car at the time, and they needed somebody to bring on board that understood not only racing, but also the fabrication and whatnot of the parts, and how to get parts made and where to get them made and that sort of thing, dealing with vendors. And I had been doing all that stuff for a long time. The problem was they couldn't pay me enough. So it was going to be a move from Tennessee to Denver, Colorado, which I wasn't opposed to, but they couldn't pay me enough to do it. Like, there just wasn't enough money in it for me. And they knew it. I knew it. Everybody knew it. It is what it is. So at the same time, there was a movement. There's a lot of movement amongst the teams in pro racing, and there was a hold that opened up on a major team in their shop. And at that point, I was tired of being a mercenary. I was tired of being on the road all the time. I just wanted to be in a shop somewhere working where I knew where I was going to be every day. I was basic for the 2 years or so that I was a mercenary race car guy. I didn't have an address. I had all my mail sent to my grandmother's house. When I was in town, I slept on the couch at my buddy's house, or maybe at my grandmother's house or my mom's house or wherever. I was just homeless. I didn't have a fixed address or anything like that. And so that's a pretty interesting way to live. The money was really good. So, is what it is. But, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about planning and being self-sufficient and all that, because, when you don't know where you're going to be, you got to figure it out. And this was, we didn't have like the massive amount of internet that we have now. I mean, we had some, but it wasn't like, everybody's phone had the internet on it. You couldn't just text and email people willy-nilly. You'd email somebody and it'd be 2 days before they got back to you. If they got back to you, because it could crash or whatever. Anyway. So I ended up, the guy that was trying to hire me at Enterprises, he knew of a race team in Denver that needed a good person. I flew out. I spent a week out there working in the shop, working with the guys. At the end of it, they offered me less money than I was worth, and they knew it. But it was enough to get me to move, and it was enough to put me in their corner. That was really important. So I did, and at that point, what I had intended to do was only trackside support locally. I did, I restored cars. I did the mechanical restorations. I did the track setup. And basically I wanted to be in the shop, or I wanted to go to local events only. I didn't want to be on the road for 3 weeks anymore. I just kind of wanted to settle down. And that's what I got. Hey Fredo, what's up, buddy? Yeah, that was great last night, man. That's great. Moxie Whites, I was between 24 and 29 when all of this was really happening. So it was a good 5-year block of my life where I was making a pretty good chunk of money, but I didn't have a home. I was homeless. You know, I had a lot of money in the bank, but I was homeless. You know, and so actually 2000, it wasn't 2000 that we won at Daytona. I believe it was it wasn't 2001. It's probably 2000 or 99. I forget which, because in 2001, September 11th, I was actually in an airport flying back to Tennessee from San Francisco, San Jose, at the San Jose airport, and I watched the planes fly into the tower in New York. I was stuck in San Jose for a week in a hotel. Every morning I get up and go to the airport. They'd say no flights. I go back to the hotel, check back in, get the same room, go right back and just kind of fuck off for a week in San Jose. I'm 53, Lawrence, 53. So in amongst that time period, September 11th happened. That was an interesting deal. I finally got so anyway, I ended up in Denver. I spent 2 or 3 years working with a very well-known racing shop there, and I helped them win several championships. Now I was the shop guy. I didn't go on, and I didn't really want to go back out on the road. That shop and we were on, we parted on good terms, and we shouldn't have, because I gotten really tired of being it's a weird thing, right? Like, the guy who owned the shop, super nice guy, built it from scratch, good businessman, all of that, multi-million-dollar operation. But he would actually, his focus was all on the racing, on the pro side of the racing, and the club racing, the vintage racing, and the street cars that I did, which actually paid most of the bills and kept the shop open and solvent. He didn't really have any appreciation for that, and he and I chafed against each other all the time, because he would come in and be like, "What, why is this way? Why is this? Why are we taking in this car? Why did you bump this guy?" And I was literally at that point, even though technically I worked for him, it was me that was, I basically ran a shop in the out of his shop, right? And he knew that, but he was really, and he understood that my, the money I brought in was keeping them solvent through the hard times, but he didn't like it. And he really wanted to do he just wanted more and more racing stuff in. And he and I kind of head-butted a little bit, and an opportunity came to go out on my own. And I did. And it's one of those things, guys, when you're a young man. I was 34 at the time, I think 33, 34, still really young. And I had just gotten married like 2 or 3 months before. It takes a lot, really, to leave a good job and to say, you know what, it's time for me to go out on my own. And if he and I hadn't kind of head-butted, if he and I hadn't kind of had that angst and pushed against each other, and he just kind of like, he didn't want to do any of the stuff that I wanted to do. He didn't like it, didn't want it in the shop. If we hadn't done that, I probably never would have gone out on my own. My life would be radically different. I mean, I had a good life. I made a good living. No complaints there. But I would not be where I am today if I hadn't just taken that step. And basically, I have to tell you, he was a much bigger man than I was at the time, because I basically told him, "Fuck you, I'm out of here." And he didn't have to. But I promised him that I would not get into racing for 2 years. I was basically a non-compete for 2 years. That I would only do street car stuff and maybe some vintage racing stuff, something like that, but no pro racing. Because I knew everything in his shop. I knew all the secrets. I knew, I helped on a bunch of it, right? And so I didn't, and I promised not to go to work for any of his competitors for 2 years. And I actually did that. He didn't ask me to do it. I'm like, look, I know I'm being an asshole here. I know I'm fucking you over, but I'm out. I'm going to go do my own thing. And, you know, I didn't come out and say fuck you, but basically it was fuck you. So he actually gave me my full severance package from when I left that job. And he didn't have to. He could have said, fuck you too. Here's your last paycheck. Get the fuck out the door. He gave me that last severance package, and I started looking for shops and stuff. And I ended up temporarily working with another shop doing streetcar stuff. And that built my legend in the community a little bit more with the streetcar guys. And then I opened my own shop. And then after that, it's all history, right? And I ended up having, at one time, I had a paint shop, I had a tuning shop, I had the race shop, and I employed about 60 people, give or take. And all I really cared about was the racing. I went back to pro racing 2 years after I had left my employer. And no, Moxie, I didn't sign anything. It was a handshake deal amongst men, right? Old school stuff. But you know, I could have gone to work for somebody else, and I had people call me up and they wanted to know stuff, you know, about the cars, about the tuning and stuff like that, and I just couldn't, I just couldn't do it. And then when I did go back racing, I didn't even go back racing intending to go back racing against them. That's how it happened. I knew that they mostly ran in GT. I was going to run in touring car. It was a big shock to me when we rolled up to the first race and they unveiled 2 touring cars. We beat them several times that year. So that was a big thing. But and I mean, I did everything. I mean, we did drag racing. I had, we had streetcar guys that were going, 9s and getting into the 8s, and it was streetcars in the quarter. We had, I did a lot of tuning. I did a lot of fabrication for other teams. I did a lot of stuff. Not necessarily me myself, but my shop did it, and a lot of it I did do personally. Right. Yeah, Moxie. I was being an asshole. I was leaving, and I wasn't going to sue him. I wasn't, I told him to go fuck himself. So that's, I didn't do that. I didn't actually say, go fuck yourself. But what I did do is I said, look, man, we got to have a talk. This isn't working for me. I know you can't pay me more. I know you don't want to pay me more. And I got to make a move. I got to I got to do what's best for me. And one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is come home and tell my wife, my new wife. I'd only been married for like 5 months at that time. Maybe, probably 5 or 6 months. I had to tell my wife that, hey, this isn't, I'm not gonna work there anymore. So that was a big deal. It was a big deal. It was a big, it was a lot of stuff. But yeah, so mostly I did race car stuff, and I've always done just race car stuff. I've always done cool stuff. I don't really want to do pedestrian shit. I just have no interest in it. And so Kevin says he quit his 6-year factory job the week before he got married. Yeah, man. Hey, dude, I owe you a phone call. We gotta talk about that engine stuff so I can get my plane engine put together. I'm boring down on this, but and right now, that all served me well. I learned a lot about how business worked. I learned a lot about how money worked. And remember now, when I was working, especially when I was working at the Porsche shop in North Carolina, oh, you used to do the books for a club racing shop? Who? I bet I know him. APR in Alabama, right? APR. We'll talk. Yeah. So, Anson, you can come on up if you want. You're welcome. I know you're at work and can't, but I'll make the invite anyway. So one of the things that really helped me out is, especially with the vintage and club racing, is you have all of these super wealthy dudes that own businesses, that own banks. Like the guy who was financing the pro race team, the GT team, when I was there, had been the president of a bank, sold it, golden parachuted out with millions upon millions of dollars, and decided to go race. He raced airplanes, and like every time they started, and the when he raced, I mean, every time they started that thing, it was like 10 grand just to start the fucker up. It was probably like $60,000 or $70,000 every time they flew that airplane. So it was great because I get to listen to all these people talk. I get to see how they negotiate. I got to talk to them about, hey man, if I open my own business, how do I do that? Our car Oak, not just fuel costs, but also the maintenance, because all of those parts have a lifespan, and it's just expensive. I mean, when you're tearing down the engine for every 100 hours, and it's like $100,000, $400,000 or whatever it is to rebuild that engine, it's fucking expensive. I'm going to tell you. So like on the 911 Cup cars that we raced in 2003 and 4, no shit, way back then, the cost to have an engine serviced, and you had to have them done by Porsche. So you'd send them to PMA, Porsche Motorsports North America. They would get them. At that time, in theory, the refresh was $35,000, but they never cost. I never saw a bill for $35,000. Every bill was at least 70 grand, at least. And these were engines that had to be pulled out at like 60 or 70 hours of track time, right? So that's a season, give or take. And if you went over, I mean, they had that down to a science. If you went over on the hours, that thing was a fucking hand grenade. You just knew it was going to come apart. You just didn't know how bad. And you would send it. You would send in an engine that was running, and you were racing it, and it would come back that it needed cylinder heads, it needed pistons, it needed whatever. It just, everything needed to be replaced. And I never saw a bill for under $70,000 ever. And that was in 2003 or 4. I can't even imagine what a Cup car motor refresh is now. It's probably 120. I should call James and ask him. It'd be a great question. That's probably why GMG went to Audi. So we're going to get into other stuff. But Moxie was asking me about my lead-in video, which is all video from my cars. But you guys don't seem to understand that motorsports of any kind runs on liquid money. Like at the beginning of every season, to go race my touring cars, which were the cheapest cars we could run, we would go find like 250. We had to go find 250 grand just to start the season. And that's with cars. Like we already had the cars, we had the trailer, we had all of the stuff, but just to go run the season, we had to go find $250,000 to run the season. 10 races, $25,000 per race per car. And that's the economics of racing. So when I talk about things like, when I talk about money, it's in a very different light than a lot of people. Gambling, no, I do not gamble. I do not drink. I do not gamble. I do not smoke. I have only one vice. I have only one vice. I really need to get somebody I can argue with up on the panel today. Who is out there that's good? Fredo, are you still out there? Can you come up? Are you working? Oh, I got a good topic. Got a good one. I need Glenn Lawrence, but he's probably asleep. Imperius is good at arguing, but I don't think he's going to care enough about this to bother arguing. I know. I do. It would be fucking great if it was a woman. Is there any female, that would be willing to come up and argue for a little bit? It's a great subject. I promise you, it's going to be so enjoyable. You're gonna love it. As long as you understand current YouTuber lore. Moxie Whites, you ought to come up. Come up on and let's argue for a little bit. You're gonna love this one. I promise you. It's so great. I know you have the link. I made sure the link was there today because I knew what I was doing today. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, and I don't know that I should call attention to it, but for whatever reason, Rollo Tomasi, over the weekend or some point, he decided to you can't today, you're on a deadline. You're always on a deadline. Look, it's a deadline, not the end of the world. Push it back. Just say you'll get it to it tomorrow. Come on up. It's gonna be great. So anyway, so I didn't know anything about any of this. I spent since Friday, when I signed off Friday night, I hadn't watched any YouTube of anybody's except I watched a little bit of Rob Noor. And then Saturday, I was on the range all day. I was sick. I went, as soon as I got home, I basically went to bed. Like I was up somebody go get Lindsay Smith. She's good for this. Torsha, is Torsha on? Can somebody go bring me the head of Torsha? It's gonna be a great one. You guys, it pains me that I'm not gonna have somebody to argue with me about this because I really need someone to argue with me about this. Fabian Liberty would be great, but he's not here. Too bad Zach can't come up. Zach can't answer questions under advice of his lawyer or his gematria, whatever. I don't know. All right, so I get in Saturday night. I get a message that Rollo has done a stream on Glenn Lawrence and Pearl. I don't think Serendipity knows the players well enough. That's the problem. Is I need somebody that kind of knows the YouTube dynamics. The red pill especially. So Rollo, Pearl, Glenn. Yeah, Glenn's at Thor's right now. I've only talked to Pearl a couple of times. She seems nice. I don't know. Rollo had a lot of interesting things to say about her, which I don't know. I mean, yeah, I saw that, Anson. Oh, Sarah would be good. Wait, is Sarah on? Let me see if Sarah is on at lunch. She is actually perfect for this. Or Kat. Let me get Kat. Kat, come talk shit with me. Kat is perfect for this, actually. So is Sarah. Sarah's on right now, or Kat's on right now. All right. It would be great. Sarah, Kat's on. We'll tell her to get over here and talk shit. She can restream. I don't care. Yes, Serendipity. I know you're kind of. Grace Thorpe would be fucking awesome. Somebody bring me the head of Grace Thorpe. Bring me the head of Grace Thorpe. She would be fucking awesome for this. She's perfect for it. Anyway, back to the Pearl and while we're doing all this. So I don't know any of this lore or bullshit or whatever that Rolo talked about. To me, it was a 4 and I haven't finished it, but I'm trying really hard. To me, it was literally a 4-hour stream of wah. What the fuck? Now, there have been people who have said a lot of mean, nasty things about me, and I don't give a fuck. There are going to be people that say mean, nasty things about me, but I've been heckled, ridiculed, and thrown under the bus by professionals. These guys just don't carry the weight. And, I mean, one of the interesting things that kind of stands out is Rolo throwing Glenn Lawrence under the bus for escorts somewhere. Nashville. It was Nashville. So Rolo calls Glenn out for using escorts. Okay. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But I'm not sure why you care or why that's like Glenn's his own dude. How does that help your argument? Is it could be a matter of character? Sure. It surprises me a little that if and I don't know, but let's just take Rolo at his word. Let's say that Glenn did seek the services of an escort. Maybe he does it every now and again. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe he likes it. So why does that help your point? I'm not really sure that I got the point. I'm not really sure. I thought that Sarah is in the house. We have Sarah. Well,
Hey.
Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. You sound like you literally just woke up.
I did a little bit ago. Just kind of like, I guess you could say more of a groggy morning. I mean, I've been up. I've just been laying there groggy.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing really well. A lot better than I was the other night. So I was quite ill. And we've got Kat too. Look at this. This is awesome. All right, Kat. So I wanted to ask you a question because you're ladies and you're in the sphere and you know all the players. Something struck me this morning as I listened to the Rolo Tomasi WAS stream for 2.5 fucking hours, which took all of my energy, guys. It really did. Took it out of me because I just can't stand to hear that much crying at one time. Not that other people don't cry, but I thought better of Rolo, but maybe not. I don't know. He's a good guy. Cried a lot today. Maybe he needed it. Could we say, this is a question to you ladies, could we say that right now Destiny is more red pill than most of the red pill? He's fucking multiple women. They're not getting any of his money. That's the red pill, right? He works out, supposedly. He's got a bunch of money. He's got his bag. Is he Andrew Tate Light?
Yes. Liberal
Yeah,
hate.
I could agree with that. Like with that being the premise, yeah, I could agree with that.
I mean, is this not like? I was sitting there thinking about all of this bullshit being bandied about all over the internet, and I'm like, this sounds like the same exact shit that Destiny's going through. And I'm like,
You mean for Rolo? Like what Rolo's dealing with? I think
well,
Rolo
no, not Rolo's not dealing with shit. Like what, Glenn's being, called out for using escorts, maybe. And he's red pill adjacent. Rolo's like going through this thing where he doesn't trust Pearl, but we already knew that. He's said that multiple times. The Pearl stream, I can't get where she's coming from on this. I honestly don't know what's going on with Pearl. I haven't paid enough attention.
Oops, sorry, I'm trying to fix this damn helicopter. Stop.
A helicopter.
Throw it.
Mom stuff is great.
So
Destiny is black pilled, red pilled. I'm screenshotting that. That's a screenshot.
I think Pearl is just reaching for attention because once she got demonetized, and everything else happened, kind of in sync together, like against her channel and stuff. I think she took a lot of hits and she lost relatability. I kind of talked about this last night. She lost relatability to the people because it was like she built her channel based on saying contentious
something took
off
a lot
the wall.
of.
Huh? Is he muted?
Nope. I'm not really sure what happened there. That was fun.
Oh, I was like, what did I say?
It could have been me. For some reason, Talk Studio is being a pain in the ass lately. I may have to go back to Streamlab temporarily.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so you were saying Pearl lately has been, and that's as far as I got.
Right. So, when she went through her kind of channel shutdown of everything, she lost relatability. She lost the momentum, lost the steam. She built her channel based on contentious remarks. And you can see the same thing pulling through over on her Twitter. She'll throw out some random statement about Black people, a random statement about women, a random statement about Latinas, just to say something off the wall crazy so that it will, people will feel the need to come combat it. But she lost that steam, like to a degree. Nobody really cares anymore. Like, she just says stuff and nobody really
I don't care.
Right. Like nobody feels the need to go to war with this woman who has just built, it's like she's already been there, said that, done that. Nobody cares anymore. So what I think the behavior pattern is now is I think she's utilizing the ploy of the clickbait drama to try to re-engage her channel more. And Rolo is a perfect target because Rolo, as you kind of were pointing out, spurgs a little bit. And he doesn't really he can be a big whiny baby. I've seen him do this before. When the Brittany Venti thing happened, the Lauren Southern, PWF and him got into a debate before, and he kind of whines and cries a little bit. I would say he's like a very sensitive ego man. So if I wanted to push a button on somebody who will take the bait, Rolo would be one of the people I would push that button to if I had access or circumstances that involved him. That would be the person I'd go for because he will react. And so by getting him to react, now you're drawing more viewers in because of that clickbait drama appeal. And I will predict that we should expect to see more drama clickbait stuff from Pearl because she's run out of content to do, to the point where now she's simply reacting to TikTok videos, and her responses during those reactions aren't really very well thought out. She's just kind of throwing stuff together now, and it's not it's not good content. And I think she knows that, and so that's why she wants to go for the clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
That's all really accurate, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's actually very accurate. Just really quickly, I have to ask, Kat, are you monetized yet?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Aw, kitty cat.
Literally, dudes, you guys in the chat are not doing your job. Cat must be monetized. You must like, subscribe, watch some of her content. Get your girlfriends to watch it because it's mostly for women. Not gonna lie, I can't watch it. My wife does sometimes, but Cat
Aw.
needs to get the get those watched hours up and get those subs up because she's not monetized. And this has been like a year, and she's you know. She doesn't
Hanson.
suck.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not emotional.
She doesn't suck, guys. Go. You have to.
What did he say, you little shit?
Sorry. Didn't mean to make too much sense. I'll start crying now. Would that help? That should help.
No, don't do that. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know why. I don't know why it occurred to me today that Destiny is being more red pill than most of the red pill is right now. I just
Because
think it's
liberal
fucking hilarious.
dudes are like low key, toxic, masculine, but they're like the sneaky, the sneaky efforts in science, like the ones that pretend to be like friends with the female. They pretend to act like females. They talk like females, and really, when the alphas are away, they're the ones who try to like, oh, he doesn't appreciate you, bang me. That'll get back at him.
Oh, they're the con
like
artists.
those.
You're saying they're the con. I got you. The
Yeah,
con
yeah. That's their mating strategy. Like, we already know that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I could understand that. That makes sense. I wouldn't say he's like a good leadership role, or
No.
he wouldn't be somebody I would trust. Like, so when we describe red pill based on kind of the thought process behind a red pill alpha male, it would be somebody who's good at taking a leadership role, somebody who is very good at self-development, very good at getting others to improve, so on and so forth. It would be a man
Sarah,
that
I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but I have to read this.
Oh.
Sarah, what would it be like if you were married to Imperius? $5 comes into Lawrence R. It is funny. I like it a lot. I'm gonna laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but that's fucking funny. And I'm sorry, Sarah.
Hey, you made
but you
$5.
paid the
I'm all
money.
for it.
It's got to be read.
I'm fine with it. You made the money. It would be, listen, Sarah, the Raging Tomato, would be dead. It would be a sad day. I would just, bad things would happen if I ever, even if I ever dated. No, I'll even put it this way: even to like be courted by Imperius would probably be the day of my death. So there
You
you
never
go.
know. He could be like totally different offline.
He probably is one of those like where they feel rejected by you, so then they go on the hate train and they want to hate you more. But there's a reason why weirdos stalk you around and spend their time trying to harness your attention.
Holy shit. This is great. Chat is lit. $2 did come in from Imperius. Generically, we only read the $2 super chats when they're funny. This is not funny, but I'll read it anyway. Imperius, you are a good customer. Cat eating, what a surprise. Mute, disingenuous, Sarah. It's okay if Sarah can be disingenuous here. It's a safe space-ish. Safe-ish. I got to show this one from Raging Patriot. Like Coyote Ugly Night, she'd chew her own arm off to get away from him. That's flawless. That's a flawless Victor. Hang on, I think I've got that one here somewhere. Let me see. Let me find my freaking soundboard because I'm inept. You guys know that. Hope you know.
It'll take him longer to find the button on the soundboard. We can just pretend.
I know where the rest of the buttons are.
There you go.
Flawless victory. Excellent.
There you go. That was great. Actually, I really loved that one. That was funny, right, Imperius? She'd chew her own arm off. That's hilarious. That's fucking great. So Destiny is not my ideal of a leader, but he does. I mean, DGG is massive, and they do everything he fucking says. And he coordinates
Well,
this.
is it a compliment to be the king of turds? I mean,
Well, look, I didn't say he was.
king.
I did preface this by saying it's not what I think of as a leader, but then again, I also don't think of like some of these red pill guys with their teams of Vikings working out every day and shitting on everybody around them if they don't. You know, I don't also necessarily agree that's leadership.
I don't even know if he necessarily leads them. I think they just blindly follow. So, like, typically when people, like, you could take this back to high school, right? And the concept of how kids fall into drugs or the goth stage or this or that is because they're being accepted by a group when they've been rejected by all of the others. So you ever remember in high school like that odd crew of people, and you're like, how do you guys even find each other? It's because they've been
They
rejected.
seek each other out.
Right. So, and I think because Destiny doesn't really offer, there's no standard, right, to get into Destiny's crew. Like, there's no, like, for instance, the Crucible crew, like, if you are a degen and you talk about being a degen, they will not let you in, right? You're not cool enough. You're not allowed in the cool kids club because they have a bar standard that you have to bypass. And whereas I think Destiny's group, there is no bar, right? You're just there. You just kind of fall into it. You're accepted, whatever. And it is what it is. So it's kind of like the leftovers. And think about it. There's a lot of those people out there that are the leftover
Leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably that's cold blooded, but it is probably a good way to look at it.
Well, they're not being accepted by anyone else.
Yeah.
So when you're not accepted by other people, like you're gonna
Leader of the
go
trolls.
where you're gonna go be where they will accept you, and there is no standard to get into that door, right? You can be anything.
True. So let me ask you this, Sarah, because you get a lot of you get a lot of people asking to be on your panels, and I've seen some of your open panel dumpster fire nights, and would you say that by and because I'm getting this from a lot of different sides, by and large, the leftist, including not really leftists like Destiny, are harder to engage than center right, whatever, because they basically spew their nonsense and run off.
I could say that there are some lefties that will stand their ground, and there's quite a few out there. I have more respect for because they're willing to stand their ground, and just the same as there's some righties out there who can't handle it. They get emotional, run away, whatever. But I think overall, like you're gonna get that in the internet space because you can run away, because you can cry, because you can get emotional, because you can do this. I think out in the real world, I don't know. I don't think the real world always, I think you get that weird, small, amplified percentage that comes online because they want to be heard. They want to be emotional. They want to be crazy. And the internet is the place to do it. Whereas out in the real world, there aren't people doing this shit. Like, they don't act like this.
So I like that. And I agree. But at the same time, I've literally been told, I'm working on a project right now. And I've literally been told that the leftist will not show up to debate specific subjects.
You got to find the right one. You're not networked out far enough. You like, and this is where
the leftist thing, I guess maybe the above a certain level, right? Like there are all sorts of things that they won't talk about. Like it's an interesting side of something I hadn't noticed. I don't want to get too far into it because I'll say something and then I'll get in trouble with other people. But it's just an interesting thing, I think. And I've heard
I mean,
people.
I think there's a natural way in which people don't want to, if they, especially if they know that the topic is a hard one to um, argue. I guess, you know, I could see that. Like, who would sign up for the challenge that is impossible, right? If you know it's impossible, why even try?
Sure. And
But
that's,
but there's crazy people out there who are willing to give it a whirl.
yeah, I like that. So the, how do I put this? What I've been, like Rob Noor. Rob Noor feels like he has a hard time finding worthy debate opponents because even if they will debate him, they won't debate him in good faith, and then it just becomes a waste of his time. Except for Destiny. Now he says that Destiny 100% is good to go, and I'm actually finding it a little bit. Because I literally, I think I'm debating every night this week, except Thursday. I don't have anything on schedule for Thursday. Every other night, I'm banging heads. I'm even postponing one of my shows on Wednesday, which I had the series I was doing. I'm actually bailing on my own series to go debate these morons, and throw some hands, verbally throwing hands, not actually throwing. But it's interesting. I don't know. I just think that I agree with what Angel Berber says here. What do you guys think about this? The red pillars are becoming a mixed bag at best and a caricature of themselves at worst as time progresses. Unfortunately, they think that they are on the cutting edge of culture when they are not. What do you think, Kat? You're shaking your head.
Well, a lot of them are. I think we're kind of like, they've said the same things over and over and over and they don't really respect nuance. They don't really have a lot of good faith arguments anymore. They're kind of just set in their ways. And you'll notice one of them, like the one who gets the most views, says something, and then everybody else says the exact same thing. There's no like listening and then absorbing and then, oh, okay, that makes sense because of this. Even though I heard this before, they don't reformat responses. And then it's like you're talking to the wall. So their conversations are kind of disingenuous. It's just like talking to lefties now, I find. It's become the same thing. They've become indoctrinated to, like, this is how it is. And that's it. So they're going to die out because the conversations are boring now. It's boring to listen to the same rhetoric over and over that's being repeated.
Well, and the market is the same person. They're all marketing to the same sad, lonely man, got divorced, can't get a girlfriend, yada yada yada. And it's easy to harness sad people, and it's easy, cheaply made content. I don't mean that like it is an insult, like they're not putting work in. What I mean is, like, it's very easy to tell them exactly what they want pretty simply, and tell them what they want to hear, right? It's not that hard to say, oh, woman hurts your feelings, here's why, because women suck, right? And now you've just harnessed a whole group of lonely, sad men. So to me, I think it's a market that was tapped into and taken advantage of. And because of that, a lot of other people see that and are trying to jump in it as well. Now, there are some other good red pill content creators that maybe have they have their heart in it and they want to do good and they want to do better. I'm not saying every red pillar is bad and is taking advantage of people, but I think it's an easy market to tap into.
I'm going to give Rolo a lot of credit here. He has steered away from and advises people to not fall into the program trap, selling a program like the Wes Watson thing and some of these other things. He doesn't. I was actually listening to the stream, and one of the things that resonated with me is I see on both sides is this selling of a program, right? If you want to be a better you, come follow my program. We're going to sell you a club. We're going to sell you this membership or whatever. And unfortunately, a lot of dudes and women eat it up left and right, depending on which side of the aisle you're on. Depends, which subscription you're buying, but you're buying a subscription.
Well, that's part of the gimmick, right?
Yeah.
And it's like just the same way as, buy this weight loss product and lose weight in 30 days. When you tell them what they want to hear, they're going to buy it and try it. And until they realize like even if they get one small improvement, they think, oh, we'll see, it worked,
Mm-hmm.
And I think regardless of the gimmick appeal, some things may be helpful for like, if it's self-improvement, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not mad at it, but guaranteeing the conclusions and the intent behind the course is probably where you're going to find the bigger issues. If you're selling a course just for self-improvement, do better for you, XYZ, I'm all for it.
I've got a TTS coming in. Stand by.
Okay.
Shazzy Bear donated £10 super chat, helping the grift, especially to a gentleman. Great stream, I'm listening. Crown.
You guys can't hear it because you're not on YouTube. And seriously, Shelby follows it up. $5 American from Seriously Shelby. By that was £10 from Shazzy Bear. I don't know what that is in today's exchange rate, but it's good. The red pill isn't integrating or evolving. It has become stagnant. There are still red people that are good, and majority are copying it now. Yeah, so I know for a fact that Kat has something to say on the program selling and all of that, because she does now obviously her shows are mostly dedicated towards women. She does a lot on this. So I know you want to say something, Kat. Be nice.
On the red pill selling program?
Yeah, people, the left and the right both sell programs, right?
Yeah, of course. But let's say red pill. For the red pill, there I see when they say, oh, all women are skanks, you have to do like all these things because like they're all gonna hurt you and leave you and whatever. That's like saying don't drive because there's an X% chance you're getting into a car accident. So you have to like put bumpers all around your car and you're going to look like an idiot out there. So I don't like those red pill, but there are a few who are not as popular that say, this is how you meet women. This is how you get over being shy. This is how you get over being awkward. This is how you get a good wife. This is how you can tell a good woman from a bad woman. But that stuff isn't very like clickbaity. It's not very easy to consume. So those programs would have been like the ones that I would want more people to gravitate to, but because it's not as clickbaity, it's not saying everybody's favorite words is it's not you, it's them. Like that's what everyone wants to hear. And if you don't say that, you don't make money, which is kind of sad, but we're all a little bit, we want to be told feel good things. And it's always like, it's the other person's fault. If everybody rejects you, it's obviously them. It's a them problem. It's not a you problem. But yeah, I don't like the whole, be a whore, be a man whore. This is how you cheat. The Andrew Tate, that's going to be a bunch of broken families, a bunch of single moms, a bunch of problems in society. It doesn't bring society forward. Then you have like, I don't know what the lefty grift is. What is the lefty program? What are they
Gematria.
Oh my God, Gematria. Flo did a thing on the hypnotization theory behind Gematria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually makes really good sense.
For Flo, it makes almost amazingly great sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can actually, it's amazingly well done. He did a very good job.
But what did he say?
That Gematria, like the Zach Hubbard guy, basically he just sits there and throws all of this information at you, and you get like an information overload to the point where you can't even process at that point. So then you just are listening for the conclusion, and you just agree to agree because you can't process. And this is why Andrew's tactic of going one claim at a time with him actually worked really well. Yeah, because he was able to prevent that information overload and like stimulus and say, oh, whoa, 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 okay, let's look at that one. You're claiming X, Y, and Z. Let me look at that, and then move on to the next claim. Move on to the next claim. You know, and he's actually slowly, or actually slowed Zach down to the point where now the crowd could process the information, and it's like that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. So. Yeah, so Andrew did really good honing in on that, whether he knew that that was what was happening or not. But he did a good job of processing that information.
Yeah. Anytime someone's trying to get you to agree to something by speaking very fast, and that's always a red flag that it's a grift.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. Yeah, gematria, it's not it, guys. I'm sorry. It's horoscope for men.
What's and so the thing about I recognize the kind of hypnotic suggestion thing as well, but the other thing that Zach did was every time Andrew would ask him a question, a direct question, what is this and why do you believe it? Zach would literally, rather than answer the question, well, we look at the Jesuits back in the, King Solomon's mines, and this was number, and this is that, and that's a number of 33, and this is number 222, and all of this stuff, and we see, and that adds up to this, and this guy's name is that, and I'm like, why does any of that matter?
Right,
Just
that's information overload. That's exactly what that is. That's the information overload. I'm going to throw a bunch of historical numbers at you, and you're just going to accept it. But I need to jump. I got to go get some things done.
Yes, you're okay to do that. It's been wonderful having you, Sarah. I really appreciate you jumping on. I know that it's not early, especially for you, but I know you were up late last night because I was up late as part of it. So you guys have a great rest. You have a great rest of your day. Kat and I'll take it from here.
All right.
I got to go too.
You don't have to go anywhere, Kat.
I got to pick up the kiddos.
Not yet, you don't. I got a clock.
Well, it looks like you could let Gimperius on here, and you guys.
Yeah, you can.
He's like, no, Sarah loves me. Kat loves me. And I'm like, no, I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Not at all. But you have yourself a good one, Grid. Enjoy the rest of your stream, and thanks.
I will. Thank you for coming on. Kat, are you seriously leaving as well?
I got 2 minutes. Actually, I got
2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes. I'll take 2 minutes.
All right. I just want to say, what did I want to say?
Go like, subscribe, and watch an hour of her show, guys. Come on,
just
please.
Leave it on in the background on mute.
Oh, that's.
I don't care anymore.
Is your husband mad at you that you're not monetized yet?
No, he's like, why do you even want to do this? It's silly. It's like, shouldn't you just be like enjoying your life? Put your feet up, just like sit at home and like, take naps and stuff. And I'm like, don't you want me to make a few extra bucks? And he's like, meh.
He just doesn't want you to be seen on the internet in a bikini. And other than that, he doesn't care.
No. He literally said, get a push-up bra, like whatever. If you want to do anything on the internet, this is how you market. Like nobody's going to watch some chick dressed like some Amish grandma. Like, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to like be, and he's like, no. Nobody cares about what you're saying. So like,
that's not true. That's not true.
Well,
Well, you're when on the nights that you can stream and have and want to do something cool. Now, are you and the boys all patched up? You and Teriak?
No. I got into another fight with Teriak.
Shocker. What about Damon?
Damon and I are still cool.
You still doing the Friday night thing?
Yeah, it's Saturday night, but he does lecture me after every stream on like how I should be better, which is weird.
Well, you're always welcome to come on. If I don't have anybody on, you can say, you know what, Damon, you're cool, but you're not that cool. You can go hang out with the cool people.
It is what it is. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have a great.
Oh yeah, we're doing a redemption series. I'm going to probably push it to Friday.
What's that
so
about?
Like, huh?
What is that about?
Well, like how if you and I know that you didn't, but what you kind of did, but not really. So if you were if you had a hoe phase in college where you went out and banged a bunch of dudes or joined a sorority, I know you know women like this. I do. I know a lot of women like this. Actually.
Sorority, no.
And they just have
hard.
a hoe phase, and they run through some dudes, and then they realize that it's not that fun, and then they get their lives together, but you know about it. Should you, and you and
I don't know sorority skanks. I don't know them, but I know just regular
just
skanks.
any hoe
Yeah.
phase, right?
Yeah, just skanks. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a really close friend. We're not close anymore because she became super woke. But before that, for like 10, 20 years and stuff like that, we were super tight, and we would go to clubs and she would like rip off her shirt and like dance with people, and then me and like my boyfriend would have to like grab her and throw her in the car, and I'd have to go between like huge 6'7" huge muscular men to like pull them off of her, because like if a guy did it, like they'd be a fight, so like I with my little 5 foot nothing have to go over there and like get her away from him and or whatever guy she's around and like pull her away, and she's like, I just want to dance, and then she's in the middle of the street screaming, I just want to dance. And then anyway, so she married this guy and they have like 4 or 5 kids.
Is she like normal now? Is she like not a hoe anymore?
She's woke, so I don't know if that's normal.
I mean, but not a hoe.
No, she's completely not a hoe. She's completely reformed. She doesn't leave the house. She's not on the internet. She's just like full on mom mode. Doesn't do anything like that at all. But
so there's an entire subset of people out there that, and Are We Not Men is one, right? Where he will go, like if he knows that you got run through by a bunch of dudes, you will always be a skank. It doesn't matter that you change your life. It doesn't matter that you whatever. And I think that's wrong. First of all, obviously we can judge. I can judge that, hey, that was a bad thing that you did, but I can't judge your relationship with God or your husband or whatever, right? Like that's not my thing. And so the premise is that, and we were supposed to do men this week. I think I'm going to have to bail on it. I'm going to have to, because I'm going to do this debate with Gibbs, and it's going to be a big deal. But and I'll just I may push it to Friday. You should come on Friday and we'll talk about men do the same thing, right? But men have men get held accountable for other things. Like let's say a guy had an angry phase in his life. He was an angry young man and he smacked the hell out of some bitch. And she was a bitch. She literally, like, maybe she keyed his car, maybe she pissed in his fucking underwear drawer. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Women do weird shit.
Sure.
But and he just smacked her, right? Maybe even put her in a hospital. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
feels bad about it, regrets it, changes his life, moves on.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you do a little bit, but like once someone's in the hospital, I do think like that's enough. You're kind of done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So even if like years later you met the guy, he's like married, kids.
Yeah. It's cool. Like to me, you're done because I'm higher value than having to put up with that. But like if I was lower value, then like maybe I'd be in a situation to put up with that.
Oh no, I'm not. We're not talking about dating here. We're talking about as someone that you look at and right? Like this person and their history, but you sit in judgment of it, or they tell you your history. Like people come on the internet all the time and they talk about how, I went, I did this when I was younger, and then people just hold that shit against them for the rest of their lives, and for whatever.
I mean, it depends on what you did and what you did to never repeat that mistake.
Sure.
You can't just say like, oh, I did it once, but like, were you in a position where the next time you were in that situation, you made a better choice? I feel like that is more telling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like this bitch was really rude and got crazy, so I put her in her place and I did this and this and this. Okay, the next time the next girl did that, what did you do different? And if you're doing the same things, If you do something different,
I just
okay.
it's a great conversation to have. You ought to join me on. I think we'll do it on Friday night instead of Wednesday night. You should join us.
All right,
Blow
I
off
gotta
whatever.
go, guys. Though
Huh?
I gotta go.
Get out of here. Go away.
Bye.
Leave me alone. You're still here. Get out. See, once you let a cat in, it's hard to get them to leave. All right, Imperious, jump on up, buddy. I know you're there. I'm actually shocked he wasn't in a waiting room, just like there. Lots of things are against the law. It could be anger issues. Being promiscuous is not. Maybe we, yeah, I don't know. Impy, man, what is up with you?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me okay or no?
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just driving around, so I don't know how, like, I have to connect to the Tesla or whatever. So, yeah, notice how it all came into play, how I predicted it, Grid. It's all coming
I didn't know you predicted it.
Grid, we talked about that. And I mean, I talked about this like a year ago on CTs. All these pills are just suppositories. They don't mean anything, Grid. These are just all to me, it just seems very funny talking about like the relationships between men and women, like how, like that never crossed my mind my entire life. Like I didn't care. Doesn't matter. Who cares a shit what a girl's thinking? Like they're going to do what they do. Who cares? Like I'm doing what I got to do. I don't care. Like it's as simple as that. And I've never had a problem. I don't understand, Grid. It's, you know, and like I said, all the infighting, like you're seeing this, like Donovan, like look at Donovan Sharp was going after me, and look at Glenn and Donovan. They're all joining their little cliques because they got to consolidate. This red pill ideology is a dying market. It's a shrinking market. And no one wants to hear about it anymore because it's all stupid. It's really, it's all about what you make of it. If you want to accept, like you can go out and date whoever. If you want to accept how people treat you, then you'll accept it and stick around. If not, you'll just deal and you'll take the consequences, just like anything in life, Grid. This isn't like some rocket scientist, like new kind of like physics or something. It's not really that interesting of a
so just from my perspective, right? Like I have been watching this red pill stuff for about 2 years now, and I've been listening to the prescriptors change here and there, you know, just depending on who you talk to, right? And you know, it's interesting listening to Rollo, who is credited as being the creator of Red Pill, right? Which,
come on, dude, he's not. He took everything he talks about from Lycus, dude. Like,
well,
Lycus
I mean,
like,
you go back to, and there was a book written in like the 1920s about.
Yeah, well, and then remember, men are from Mars, women are from Venus in the 60s and 70s. Too? That was a big one.
That was, I think that was the
for
80s, actually. I think that was the 80s.
Was it the 80s? I don't know. I mean, okay, great. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that was like a, you know, a big old thing too.
Dude, I still remember parts of that book. I read it, but I like just breezed through it. So,
like people live in a I really think what it is people live in a Disney infused mindset where like it's all about this like fantastical, abstract like love and this and that. It's not about that. It's never been about that. Like very rarely throughout history did people like just like, was it The Notebook or something? You know what I mean? Like that's what everyone lives on, that they think they're just going to whimsically find like the meaning of life in some other person. Like people are just miserable human beings because they're abject failures, and so they're trying to look for happiness.
I don't know if I go that far.
No,
I don't know if I go that far, but I do think that like, so there's a like, and I picked on Destiny because, you know, obviously he's in the news all over the fucking place now. He's now, you know, he's being sued personally by Pixie, I think, for the dissemination of the material, right? And across state lines, because of the internet, and then he's being they're investigating him criminally because the Cherry thing where he recorded her without her knowledge. Now, I think the FBI is investigating that one, and that's why it's taking so long for it to be charged. I'm sorry?
Well, yeah, he's a big enough target that they would, because FBI really only goes after big that they can make.
Well,
like,
it's cross state
media,
lines.
like,
They kind of have to. But.
Well, it's the internet, yeah, but no, not just that. But I mean, that happens all the time. They don't charge. Like, look, I mean, they don't charge all kinds of federal crimes all the time. It's usually they choose the big ones that they can get on the media and make an example of and stuff like that. And he would be in a big example. No, I mean, look, Grid, the red pill, all this stuff. These are things that we've known innately since we were young, Grid. Like the most, to me, honest relationship between men and women is when we were young and we would make fun of them and just talk shit to them, and then it just hanging around with another, people just started getting together. Like, it was nothing, like there wasn't this whole like intricate, like trying to create a science out of it, and this whole, and what it is, Grid, is people are getting monetized off of it. That's really what it is. People want to drive and dig and keep rehashing the same things because
Did you watch the Rollo thing?
Of making money, Grid. This is all just I went in and out of it, and I heard a couple parts. I listened like 20 minutes of it. You know what I mean?
So it's like 4 hours.
He's just, again, he's yeah, but what I'm saying is he's threatened by his market. That's all it is. Do you think, Glenn, how many of these people are we find, like, they don't live by the red pill or quote red pill? They don't, like, he doesn't either. Like, and none of them, the reason they're so hyper focused and the reason there's all this drama is because there's a monetary incentive for it.
Well, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this. I think that Rollo has a vested interest in controlling the narrative of the red pill, and that he is the source of the red pill.
Yeah, he's got to be the godfather. That's his shtick.
Yeah.
He's the one who it all disseminates from. And if he doesn't christen it, it's not legitimate.
Right. But you have guys like, that have as big a following as him, like RP Thor, Donovan Sharp, that have been associating with people that he doesn't like. And look, I'm sure he's got perfectly good reasons for what he's saying. I don't have any issue with, look, I don't have it. Like, I just don't like some people.
I don't even know him. I don't even like it. I think all of it is bullshit, Grid. Anyone that's used the red crap is bullshit. Grid, like, to me, there's no difference between all of them. They're all the same thing. And look, their infighting is just it's like rats that eat each other. When the food comes, when the food is scarce, rats eat each other. And you're starting to see the rats, the fat ones, the ones that like make their living off this, like getting really, really concerned that their grift can't go. I mean, look at, for example, what's that show that he does with the dude from Vegas and all them, where the horse
Access Vegas.
Like, nobody cares about sitting around watching a bunch of porn stars, especially 40-year-old ones. Like, they're all like this. Is what I'm saying, like, none of that. It's Grid. We're entering a new phase in the world. Like, okay, like, people are tired of this whole 2000s blow up doll, people looking and insignificant.
That was me. Sorry, bro.
What,
no, I did.
Okay, did I do something wrong? I pushed something. Did I push? Oh, I didn't know. Grid, I'm not.
It's what happened is that for some reason, every now and again, Talk Studio will lag out, and it will kick me out. But it doesn't end the stream or anything; it just kicks me out. And when I go out, you go out too. So that's what it is. What's up, TBT? It's good to see you, Nick. Good to see you, buddy.
Grid, to me, what it really is, Grid, like, it's just a hyper fixation on women. The entire focus, like, to me, girls were around. They were friends. They hang around. We played, you know, when we were little kids, we played in the neighborhood, like guns with them. We played little Nerf with Nerf guns. We played squirt guns in the pool with them. You know, they were around. And then you just eventually hook up. People that hang around each other, you eventually just get together. It's like natural human, like, progression. It's not like, what is this whole focus on, like, disseminating women and chopping everything up like it's some intricate science, Grid? It's autism. Like, it doesn't, like, Grid, did you sit down and read books about how to interact with women when you were in your 20s and 30s? No, you just said hi to women, talked to them like normal people, and that was it. Like, it's not, this is autism, Grid. Like, the fact that you've got to sit and make some kind of science about this. The women are the same as men. They're not, I mean, not the same, but you know what I mean? They fart, they shit, they pee, they throw up, they have BO, they have people. They're not like these special, like, creatures that you have to, like,
you gotta calm down. Your
like,
mic's
alien or
breaking up. You
something.
gotta drop the energy down. A little
I'm
bit.
sorry. No, I'm sorry, Grid. I'm sorry. It's just like, they're not like these alien creatures that you have to, like, make some science about. They're just people, Grid. Women are, they're insecure,
I mean, I'll
just
agree
like
with
we
you.
are about things.
I will agree with you that I think that a lot of the descriptors in Red Pill are for men to be better men. The prescriptors by Red Pill content creators are often about how men treat women, which I think is wrong. So I agree with that. I mean, I've always said that.
I don't think, I mean, I've never had to treat a woman like trash to get or stay with them. I just am how I am. Like, I just say, no, I'm not going to do this, or yes, I'm going to do that. Like,
hold on. So let me ask you something, right? Because I mean, nobody knows what you look like. We don't know who you are. But let me just ask something. In your relationship, whatever, with women, do you find that a lot of this stuff is really applicable beyond just, you need to be, you know, work out and look healthy, be well spoken, have a job, be making some money, you know, be smart with your money, and be on the masculine side, more than, which is basically the descriptors of Red Pill. None of that is wrong. Would you say? You would say that that's all correct, right?
No, but that's all, like, a side. I think that's just being a healthy human being. Like, I mean, I remember in health class in middle school, you go to the gym, you eat healthy food, you have good health, mental.
Yeah, again, they're all great descriptors. They're all great descriptors for life. It's the prescriptors that I start having an issue with, right? The prescriptors of, it's okay to have more than one woman at a time. It's, so, you know, like, that doesn't damage your, that does no damage to you mentally, and it does no damage to them mentally as women. It doesn't do damage to women.
Time, Grid. Well, Grid, it's not, I mean, there's damage, yes, but it did damage to you as well, because look.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I've dated multiple women. I've dated multiple women at the same time, and never has it ended well, because it takes all of your attention. It takes all of your time, because dating one woman is a handful, especially if they're really attractive. So if you're dating 2 or 3 and you're spinning plates, like, dude, that is not the thing you want to do as a man, because you're eventually going to get caught in a lie. And then it's a whole bunch of drama and nonsense, and women are vengeful, dude. And you don't want to get into all that. Like, it's easier to just be like, I am how I am. I'm dating this girl. I like her. If she starts doing stuff, then I don't like her and I'll leave. Like, it's not like, these aren't like hard, like, Grid. I'm sure you didn't sit down with your son or Will and go, okay, that's the percentages of women when they're this married and have had this relationships or this and that. No, you just say, look, if a girl is acting like like this way, you probably don't want to get with her. We all know that. Everyone knows that. Like, I've dated girls that are scandalous too. And you feel it in your mind, in your stomach, and you push it aside because you want to get some ass. And that's all it is, Grid.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's
you just want to get some ass, and you're, you know, and that's what it's just silly. Like, I mean, as much as the Red Pill may have been,
I get where you're coming from. let me throw something else at you. Let me throw something out. And I use this guy a lot because he's probably listening. I hope he is. And hopefully he knows that I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm just doing historical accuracy here. So I have a friend of mine, been friends for 30 years, maybe longer. Fuck. I think I was probably 20, so probably 33 years. I've known his wife the same amount of time. He met his wife in a bar on spring break at a wet t-shirt contest, and she won. They started dating. They've been together ever since. 2 kids,
that's fine.
home life, everything. In the red pill world, you couldn't predict that because that woman's a hoe.
Oh yeah, she's a horrible person.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, dude, like, do you think like no girl has like run around like their house topless or something, or like had like, it's like, okay, like there's a difference between she played a wet t-shirt contest when she was drunk once and like posting on OnlyFans, or like having an Instagram when you're posting hundreds of bikinis photos and hundreds of thirst, photos. Like, big deal. She had fun one time. Like, dude, I've like I said, I've been to foam parties. I've hooked up in a foam party one time. Does that make me like a whore? You know what I mean? Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, Grit. I mean, we're all like,
I get it. That's why I changed your name for you.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? Oh, 12-hour celibate. No, I mean, it's again. I just think, Grid. I think people, we have a lot. Like, just myself, I'm a huge problem with this. We think too highly of ourselves. Yeah. And I think, like, look, if a girl does one thing some other time, and she's not doing all this horrible stuff.
What if she's done it 100 times though? And this is something that we talked about Wednesday night, but we weren't really able to get to the bottom of it because we didn't get it.
Yeah, that's a pattern.
Sure, but patterns change through life, right? I used to love Fruity Pebbles, and I haven't had Fruity Pebbles in 40 fucking years.
Okay. If she did 100 times in like 2 years, from like 22 to 24, okay. But
yeah, that's what I'm sorry. So let me ask you, Imperious. First, I need to read this, and I want to ask you a question. Yeah, but why is it wrong? If you work out and work on yourself is fine. That is the red pill. That is not the red pill.
It's not the red pill. It's literally healthy.
Again, Eric R. Oak, I want to make sure that everybody understands the descriptors that red pill issues: work on yourself, work out, read books, exercise your body and mind, be more masculine, all of that. That's excellent. I think every man ought to just know that, but some don't, and they need that. They need to have that clarity, right? They need to have someone say, "Brother, it's okay to be a man. It's okay. You should go work out. Don't be a fat ass. Go work out." My whole life.
You need like kind of some.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you need a kick in the ass sometimes by your buddies. I mean, sometimes we all get lazy and shit. And if your buddies say,
sometimes just reading a book that says this will help you, gives you that mental picture. The problem we have, I have, R.R. Oak, is the prescriptors where you go to some channels. I'm not going to name any because I'm not a dick today anyway, and I normally am, but not today. You go to some channels and they say, well, you need to buy my $14,000 program, and we're going to teach you how to be a fucking millionaire, and we're going to give you a workout plan, and you're going to have bitches rolling off of you, and you're going to be driving a Lambo in 9 months or whatever. And that's wrong. But even worse are the prescriptors of their program, which say, bang as many women as you want. Women are all whores, and women, don't trust women, and just women are some, unless a woman fits in this box, she's for recreational use only. If you can't, do whatever, if you're still a little out of shape, even though you work out, but your time's limited, well, you're not devoting enough time to that, and whatever the fuck it is. Prescriptors are the problem from some specific creators, and this is a problem. The descriptors are not empty. The descriptors are actually accurate. It's the
There's
prescriptors.
numerous descriptors that they're like, not all descriptors do I find them as accurate, but in most of them they are. I mean, they're seeing, it's not hard to figure out that, like, seeing like trends and seeing numbers and that's fine. But the problem is they put like this guru, like, it reminds me. Do you remember that Austin Powers?
It's a yoga guru. Yeah, no, it's the yoga guru.
Yeah, but it was the
method. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the red pill. I mean, I think most people that have like most men that, or guys that are reputable, don't even call themselves like red pill. Like what's that guy's name? The Marine, the redonkulous guy. He's not even like red. He doesn't even call himself red pill anymore. Terrence Pop, I think his name is. Like, I've watched him for forever, but I don't really watch like any, like, he doesn't call himself red pill anymore. He just does. He says he's not a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass. And I think it's like old school. Yeah, like it's I don't think, look, a problem, this reflects a problem of single motherhood, that men were raised without like men that could identify and teach them these things. I think that's a big issue. I think the autism trend is a big issue, that why this is a big thing, because men like a lot of these dudes, like, if you notice, a lot of these gurus, a lot of these red pill people, they put it down as an autist would identify. This is the step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do that, all the way down, and then it'll equal woman. It's like, no, that's not how not how the world, and that's how autists think, where it's like these parameters and everything works correctly and stuff, and it doesn't. The world never works correctly how you want it to.
Well, we could go. I don't really want to go down that specific.
I'm not saying.
That's a whole other show. I do probably need to go down that path at some point, but that's I'm just saying an example. There's multiple issues of why the red pill has become. I think, like I said, it's lack of male figures. It's too, like, the trend. Oh, yeah,
of men.
We can get into all of that. That's a great conversation.
It's the trend of men looking for what the definition of being a man is nowadays, because it's been subterfuged by Disney and by women, and I mean, not even all by women, but really by other men. Mm-hmm. See, the thing is what people don't realize, it's not women that are getting the most out of feminism and the way the world is now. It's the top men. Because what the top men have done is now used biological instinct to, now they don't even have to compete with 95% of men, because they don't even see most of these guys as, the women have been programmed now through biology to not even see these guys.
They're being programmed by the red. That's actually something that's biology.
But it is biology.
It is biology, but here's the thing. It's in. I'm going to come back to that. Give me a second. So first of all, Raging Patriot.
Hey, let me hop into the UPS store real quick. I'll be right back in 5 minutes.
Good. Raging Patriot, you are right. Cookie Crisp was the bomb. I love that shit, man. That was great stuff. Let me answer this too. Let's say you have an 80 IQ, and on a good day you can follow 50% of simple written instructions. Why is the descriptor of reading books applicable to said person, and how will that help the person? Well, first of all, reading, the more you read, the better you get at it, the more you understand. Right out of the gate, you're in better shape. Second, reading something that is literally as simple as go work out and get healthy. What does a prescriptor do for you other than give you somebody's opinion about what you should do? Help me out with that. I'm gonna man, I was really hoping we'll get sent back here in a second. There's a really interesting thing going on here. That's good night, Serendipity. Good to see you in the chat today. I'm glad that you were here. Yes, Wes Watson was funny. Chocolate Pebbles. So the Arcar Oak, I'm not calling you out, but just I really want to answer this question. Do you think that the red pill creators and the prescriptions that they're using could exist without feminism? While we listen to Mr. Boulay.
Mr. Boulay in the Department of Numismatics donated $10 super chat. Today is the birthday of actor James Doohan, March 3, 1920, July 20, 2005, who portrayed Scotty in the original Star Trek cast. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scotty, for being an inspiration, or for being my Mr. Boulet's inspiration in becoming an engineer. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. That was great. Win, Mr. Boulet. That's correct. Everybody W's in the chat for Mr. Boulet. And James Doohan, who we all know as Scotty. I really got to get those the character count changed. So Eric R. Oak, do you think the prescriptors that you can go bang whatever woman you want to could exist without the idea of feminine, or could exist without feminism? I think the descriptor are a response to feminism, and it mirrors the feminism. No, I disagree with this. Red pill, in and of itself, as it is today, according to the prescriptors of just kind of banging all the women you want, they can't exist without feminism, because without feminism and the girl boss mentality, and they're going to go get their bag, and they're going to get the bet, they're going to marry a rich dude, and they're a high value woman looking for a high value man. Without those prescriptors that the red pill has engaged in over the past few years, none of those can exist without feminism. That's what feminism tells women to be, and red pill takes advantage of it. And they always have, and they always will. Red pill just simply can't exist as the way it is without feminism, which is why very few of them actually come out against feminism. It would be great. It would be great if red pill creators would man up, literally, and say feminism sucks. One man, one woman is the way it's supposed to be. Marriage, nuclear family, all of that. And you won't hear red pill guys do that because they embrace promiscuity in women. And while at the same time calling for, lower body count women and high value women and all of that. So Car Oak, the descriptors are great because they make you be a better man. The prescriptors of this idea, this ideal woman, this ideal relationship kind of nebulous thing that you're supposed to have is wrong. And it's just wrong. And once you realize that, and the blinders come off, and red pill is exactly what it is, which is a great set of descriptors that are ruined by a bunch of dumbass prescriptors put out by content creators who want to bang women and who want to get bitches and money, which is nothing wrong with the idea of getting bitches and money. I'm not saying that that's necessarily in and of itself a bad thing, but just be honest about it, and don't say that you need, as a man, you need to improve yourself to be a better man for any other reason. So at any rate, yeah, so that's where I'm at on all this. Yeah, right. Otherwise, they can't get the 100 women. Is it 100 now? I thought it was 50. I thought it was 50 women. I'm not up on the latest. Grid. Let's see. The red pillars call feminism out in passing as a distraction. Yes, you're correct about that. The drug dealer calling out the drug producers scenario. Yes, you're correct about that. Yeah. And as well, you shouldn't. As well, you shouldn't. And look, I get called, for some reason, I get lumped in with red pill all the time, and I'm not red pill. I will freely admit, if you read Rollo Tomasi's book, Rational Male, and take it for what it is, it will if you're a man, it will more than likely help you. But that's that's about as far as I can. That's it. That's, then once you start watching the content creators and they're talking about all of this nonsense, right? 50 a man needs 50 bodies before he should even think about getting married is fucking, if you believe that, you're a chump. You deserve to pay the $15,000 whatever for their fucking program. The idea that Rollo Tomassi did anything other than define something that already existed is really crazy to begin with. Well, you can go back. There are books that we can find as far back as the 1920s that dealt with men being actual men, and feminism was in its infancy, but there was already this idea, this not really feminization, but this demasculation of men. And that could be seen. And there's all kinds of health hospitals back in the day where men went to lose weight. And you can look back in the cartoons of the 30s and 40s and 50s where they make fun of these emasculated feminine men. You just look through history, man. Don't get stuck in the computer age. Look back. And then when you get into the 40s and 50s, you have books like Campbell Loftmiller's The Worth of a Boy, and some of the other writings from that era where they're talking about how young men need to be protected because at the time girls were ultra protected and young boys were not. They were abused. They were thrown into the streets. They were discarded like trash. And Loftmiller talks about all of that and how that actually emasculated so many men. And that's long before Rollo Tomassi was even fucking born. So he did, in his book, The Rational Male, use the red pill terminology from the movie The Matrix, which in and of itself is a reimagination of another book from earlier on. To define this awakening status, right? And I think that the descriptors probably not a bad thing, There's some that I kind of don't really, take a grain of salt sort of thing, use some common sense. But there's parts of it missing. I think ultimately, if you want to be a true, well-rounded person, you should already understand the tenets of the red pill. You should be taught that by your father. If you don't have a father, then obviously there are books, and red pill's a good one. The Bible, whether you actually tend to believe, even if you just look at the Bible as a great storybook, it will teach you much about life and how to live life. Personally, I think there's more to it, but who am I to say? So, but all of these things, again, I'm not calling out red pill. I don't think that, I think Rollo Tomassi is a very smart man. I think he gets in his feelings sometimes, and I found the 2 hours of the 4-hour podcast that I've watched so far to be beneath him, to be honest. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're exactly him. I don't know. At any rate, who am I? I'm nobody. He's Rollo Tomassi. He can go. He's a cool dude, and I'm not. Let's say I can sacrifice my health to take care of your brother. Red pill would scream at you for being a fat ass, even if I find that to be properly masculine. Yeah, there's a lot that red pill takes for granted. And again, I think the descriptors are good. The prescriptors are bad, or mostly bad. What you really need is a father figure in your life, and be careful choosing one, because not all father figures are created equally. So do I think it's more accurate Wait, hang on. Let me read this again. Do I think it's more accurate to assess that yesterday's red pillars have become black pill, yesterday's blue pill had become red pill, and today's simps have become the blue pill? No, not really. I don't think so. I think that first of all, black pill. I think black pill's dumb. I think all of the whole red pill, blue pill kind of makes sense. White pill, black pill, yellow pill, green pill, what the fuck ever. Who cares? There really can only, in my mind, there can only be you're either you're awake or you're asleep as far as men go. And I think that some men do choose to remain asleep. You know, some men do choose to remain not very masculine, and that's okay. I'm not throwing rocks here, right? Like if you want to be, I think that there's a lot of men who are perfectly happy with their lives being weak, effeminate men. Now that would, me personally, that doesn't work for me, but it works for them. And who am I? Again, while I will certainly judge them, I'm not going to go force them to do something that's not my place in life. Yeah, I think lacking justification is probably right. Eliminate the grays and in between. Yeah, something like that. At the end of the day, the very existence of red pill as a phenomenon shows the disconnect from one generation of men to another. These tenets were understood by male elders passing to youth. I do agree with that. And a lot of really important tenets are left out of red pill. Be honest in every fucking thing you do. When you shake a man's hand, that's your bond. At the beginning of this show, I told a story about how I left an employer. I left the employer because I was kind of aggravated with him and he wasn't really happy with me. And I decided that it was time to go out on my own. I ended up going to work for someone else for a short time between, but I basically told this guy to fuck off. He owed me nothing, not one red cent. And he paid me my severance based on a handshake that I would not compete directly against him. I wouldn't go racing and I wouldn't steal customers and a couple other things. It was a handshake deal. And he paid me my severance. And I never crossed that line. Never one time. Red pill does not say that. As near as I can tell with red pill, it's perfectly okay to fuck over your neighbor if you think it's the right thing to do. It's perfectly okay to fuck over somebody in business if you think it's the right thing to do. I can't find, and maybe I'm wrong here, somebody please point it out if I am, but there's nothing in red pill about being an honest man to deal.
No, it's about getting the
honest.
most of what you can get to feel good. Like it's
Right.
literally consume as much women, get as much money.
I've had red pill guys tell me that the be a masculine man part of it, it's not masculine to lie, it's not masculine to deceive. But I think that's bullshit, because if they meant it to be in there, they would have written it in there. And I think it's purposefully left out because they're because
it's just get whatever you can.
If they prescribe to do everything in good faith, do everything honestly, don't lie, don't fuck people over in business deals. When you shake a man's hand, that is your fucking bond. If they meant that, they would say it, and they don't. What's my take on MGTOW? I don't really have one.
Well, Grid, can you hear me, Grid, or no? Sorry.
Yeah, man.
No, again, like it's just, sorry, I had to jump in. It took forever.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
Grid,
blowing
look,
up anyway.
they're not out there like trying to do, they're just trying to make other men like them that they think that they had some, time in their life that they hooked up with a bunch of women, and they think they can see all these losers out there that they could, quote, be idolized by. And that it's really what it is. It's just, it's a whole issue of hero worship and nonsense. It's cults of personality. And you know what I mean? And that's the issue, Grid. And then are we going to get to the gematria thing? Because I think people are missing.
Let me finish up on red pill because I
just wanted to have a take on the gematria.
Yeah. Let me just run through these really quick. Growing up, I had to learn about women from personal experience mostly, and I never knew there was red pill when I was younger. And yet, Ghost is a cool dude. Glenn's last stream sounded like he wanted to go MGTOW. Could be. Canaline, moral beliefs. Moral beliefs to be understood that there are consequences for decisions made. Yeah, absolutely. How to be a player with Bill Bellamy. That's funny. As thou will. Do as thou will, yeah.
Do as thou wilt, that is the whole of the law. That's Satanism.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't go with that. So yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. Rolo's last stream sounded weird, but I haven't finished it, so maybe it changes. I don't know. And look, he's a cool dude. I like Rolo. I think he's probably right. I think that Pearl is probably a little desperate. She's probably been desperate at various points in time. And the fact that he's shocked that a woman took advantage of a man is fucking hilarious to me. So the whole thing.
Isn't that what he preaches about all the time?
Right. Yeah, he preaches this shit over and over again. And yet when it happens to him, he's shocked. I would go look, I've had contact with Pearl, right? Like not a lot, but a little bit. I've called into her show. She came on my show one night with Glenn. I've had Glenn on my show multiple times. Glenn and I are buddies. I like Glenn a lot. I don't do business with Pearl yet because I don't understand what she wants. It's just like I don't do business with Imperius because I don't know who he is. I don't understand what he wants. Why would you do business with somebody? Why would you do business with somebody that you don't understand who they are and what they want? Right?
Some men just want to watch the world burn. That's Imperius.
Yeah, I got that. But I mean, it's just really simple, right? Like there's no.
Do you ever go into business with somebody that you don't know like their trajectory of what they're trying to achieve and stuff? I mean, no, I don't think you ever do. I think like the first time you meet with a potential partner, you're sitting there and they're outlining with their documents and stuff where they're looking to go, what their vision are compared to your vision, where you guys could integrate, how the integration could help both parties. Like it's not just you have a good idea, let's jump in the bed together.
It's 3 to 6 months of due diligence before I do business with somebody.
Yeah, you want to see P&L statements. You want to see and
if somebody came to me quotas, when people come to me and say, "Hey, I want to collaborate with you on something," if it's anything major that's going to blow back on me or has that potential, we line everything out ahead of time. Or
wait, Glenn said something about grid or me? Ghost. Sorry? Glenn said something about grid or me? I mean, I understand.
No. Rollo Tomasi literally called Glenn out for using escorts, which is weird because I thought Red Pill was cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you
have fucking prostitutes on their damn channel all the time.
Well, yeah,
they literally, Access Vegas is nothing but a 4-hour advertisement for Las Vegas prostitutes. And Rollo literally is like, well, Glenn uses escorts all the time. Well, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck, man?
Well, in general, the men that they idolize and worship, professional athletes, billionaires, they use escort services most of the time too because it's safer. They don't get the
right. I'm not paying you to be here. I'm paying you to fucking leave and forget everything.
Exactly. Well, it's more than that too. It's the safety of knowing that an escort is usually not going to sit there and make certain claims about you and stuff, and it's not going to go to the media about it. You know what I mean? And
sure.
for men like that, they want to be discreet. You don't want people to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I can go along with that. All right, so let's get into the gematria thing. Yeah, I agree. I'm waiting to talk to Glenn. I haven't heard from Glenn. He's still at Thor's. It's just not.
No, Glenn's a good guy. He takes care of his sick buddy and stuff. I mean, I don't agree with Glenn on everything.
I honestly can't believe Rollo said a fucking word against.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn and I, butt heads once.
While Glenn is taking care of Rollo claims to be his friend, his longtime friend, RP Thor, is literally at death's fucking door. Glenn
And he's
is the
there
one up
taking
there
care of
taking.
him, yeah.
Rollo is not. Rollo's not in Northern California taking care of this motherfucker. Glenn is.
Yeah.
Glenn is not making any money right now. Glenn can't stream
I've
because
got a bunch of family up there too, and it's tough up there too. Like, there's not a lot of health services. There's not a lot of shit up there.
it's like
you
an
know what I mean?
hour to the fucking hospital. Like when Glenn's like, I got to go to a hospital. It's like 30 minutes to an hour to get there. Why does Rollo do that? I don't understand that part. Now that's the only thing. Like, okay, call out Pearl. Pearl is probably dishonest. I find it rare to meet a woman in passing that is honest with me. They all want something. Right.
Yeah, I mean, why? Like, can you weigh the balances of morality? I mean, maybe he hires some escorts, okay, but he's like helping people when they're in like a lot of pain and suffer. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Glenn's a perfect guy. I mean, none of us are. But what I'm saying is,
no,
look,
if Glenn was using escorts, if Glenn was using escorts while he was married, without his wife knowing about it, without some understanding, which we don't know that they know. Look, I'm not.
I don't know their situation, so I don't care.
I don't know their situation. I'm not going to comment further.
It's not my business. I don't care.
Except that, if that's the case, if he's using escorts, who cares? Like, why does that matter? Unless you have his wife there talking about that, especially in a Red Pill podcast. I could say on my podcast, Imperius, if you're using escorts, I'd call you out on it because I'd be like, you dumb son of a bitch. You talk about all these hot ass women you get, and here you are talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd call myself out for it. I get,
you're paying for it, right? I would call you out for it because of what you've said on my show multiple times. Yeah, please go send me the clip, man. Send me the clip. I'll take a look at it. I have not watched that whole 4-hour fucking pity party fucking stream. But I can't get there.
Look who's here, Glenn. My love, Lindsay's in the chat.
Oh, Lindsay's here.
Lindsay,
you missed out earlier. You missed out. We had a great time.
She should have gone up there. That was, dude. I want to see. You know what I want to see? I want to see Lindsay fight Moxie. I think that would be a headlining bout. What do you think?
Lindsay's pretty. They're both pretty smart. Both pretty smart.
Well, I mean, no. Moxie wants to punch people. That'd be a great debate.
That'd be a great.
Moxie wants to punch people, though. Moxie's a monster, dude.
Yeah. Well, she just said that if a dude hits a woman, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either. I've never had to. Really? Like, there's different self-defense if a woman's like swinging at you and you like grab her face and throw her down or something. That's different than like straight up clocking a chick right in the head. You know what I mean? I mean, if I punched a chick like I know how to punch, like with like, dude, my fist would be through her forehead. I mean, it's not. Yeah,
but dudes don't do that, right? So like, and I have and it's been a long time because I got to remember. I don't want to misspeak, but I had a buddy of mine. I mean, I say buddy, classmate, right? And he had a temper. We all knew he had a temper. And he really was still learning how to deal with it. You know, we were 17, probably seniors. And we were out one night, and of course I was at military school at that point, and we were out, and we were in town, and some townie chick just tore this guy up. I didn't think anything about it. It ate at him. And we were out a couple of weeks later, and that night she was like being really nice to him, but it was kind of a setup because she thought it'd be funny to really embarrass him in front of her friends or whatever. And I forget the exact circumstances, but the end of the story is that he ended up smacking her pretty hard. And we, like, three of us tackled this dude because if he had actually started to like hit people, I mean, this was a violent dude, and we knew. I mean, we know that. We know who. We look. Men know who violent men are, especially when you go to school with them. And so we tackled him, drug his ass outside. Didn't really kick his ass, but took him back to school, and of course he had to answer for that before the honor court, and. He paid his dues. I saw that dude 10 years later, I think. I was probably 25, 26. Dude was married, 2 kids, nicest guy you'd ever meet. Like, I don't know. He just got through college, got into his job, and just settled down. So I don't know, but I will say that
I mean,
it's
people
not.
have acts of like, impulse of moment. I mean, of weakness. I mean, we've all had that. I mean, I've been in
No, he
situations
was
where,
just violent as a teenager. Like he was just a
but that's what I
violent
mean. Like
teenager.
some kids are like, dude, boys, especially at a teenage age, are not hormonally like. Remember, have
Yeah,
you ever seen the
dude, he
a
grew
CAT
like.
scan?
So when we started as freshmen, of course, I came in my sophomore year, so I only knew him at the closing of his freshman year, right? I came in during the summer, and he was I was at that point I was like 5'8", 160 maybe. He was like, dude, he was already like his coming out freshman year, he was 5'10", 5'10 and a half, 180, 185, all fucking muscle, all of it. And so he could hurt people, so
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, but what I mean is like, there's, have you ever seen a CT or CAT scan of um a like a teenager, like a 16-year-old, the brain and what it looks like?
no, I don't remember. If I have, I don't remember.
It's
I won't
it
lie.
looks
I
like
won't
a
lie
brain
to you.
injury. It looks like a brain injury. No,
No doubt.
no, it does. Like the lack of oxygen and what receptors are going on and what neurons are firing. Literally, people forget puberty is almost like a brain injury. Like the hormones and what's going
Mm.
on in the brain and stuff and the body
Yeah.
is and that's why boys, a lot of the time, I mean, I was pretty violent. That's why I was in football and wrestling when I was young. You know what I mean? I had
I
to
think
be
that's.
that.
I think you just hit on something. I think that's one of the reasons why. Like I was in military school. I didn't do football or wrestling. I did other sport. I did run. I ran. I used to do like a 4-minute mile. I was just telling my son the other day. I'm like, when I was your age, I did a 4-minute mile, and he's like, "That's fucking crazy." And I'm like, "No, it's just that's what I did." And but if I didn't have those outlets, like you're saying, I broke a dude's tooth off in my hand with a spinning
Oh
ball.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
kidding you. I still have the fucking scar. Like if you look
Oh
at my
yeah.
hands, if you look at my hands, I've never been to war, but I look like I've been to war because I fought so much in high school.
And and you don't even know why. Sometimes you're just impulse. It's like, dude, like when you're in teenage, like 16, 17, and there's just and sometimes you'll look at someone just not like him and you guys got to fight. It just has to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just is what it is. I mean, but again, like that's a little different. That used to be our age. Like you could do that. Nowadays, kids are bringing pieces, big parties and stuff. It's stupid.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
you know what I mean? That's the problem. It's like
yeah,
you used to be, you could get in a fight and then be over with and you can have, be whatever. But,
yeah.
now
That's
it's a little,
true. Do
it's
we
a little
end up?
different.
You may not end up as friends, but you had that grudging
You
respect.
had more respect after it. Like, hey, the guy at least stood up for what he said and like you handled it and it's whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah. So I used to have this dude that he was huge, man. He was like 6'5", probably 230, 240 pounds, like just fucking ridiculous, And and he picked on me fucking every day, dude. Like he'd knock my books out of my hand. He'd, and we're at a military school where, it's all testosterone. It's all dudes and it's all testosterone all the time. And I remember one day, dude, I had this, those cardboard tubes you hold drafting documents in, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're about like 30 inches long, 36 inches long, and they're probably an inch and a half or 2
Thick.
inches
Yeah,
in
thick. Yeah.
diameter, but they're a 1/4 inch thick cardboard, right? Like they're really stiff, so
Yeah.
they'll never bend, right? And so I had one of those in my hand. I had some plastic caps on the end, and I had it kind of under my arm because I had drafting, which was just fucking dumb. I'm no good at it, but I had to take it. And I have this drafting tube under my arm, and he comes at me. He's walking towards me, and I knew he was going to fuck with me. So right as he starts to kind of pull back to knock my stuff out of my arms, I slammed forward full weight with that tube, and he caught about like I swear 3 inches of that tube sunk into his abdomen, man. And he went down like a fucking brick.
Oh
And
yeah.
he
Yeah.
never fucked with me
When you're
after
not
that.
ready for it, you hit him in the solar plexus, dude. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I gotta hop into the bank real quick, but let me get to this gematria before I go.
Yeah,
Look,
let's do gematria.
I think, did I post in the back the link in the private chat? Let me I mean, I think I posted it before. I think you've seen it. There's a link back there to it. It really, what it is the, everyone's missing the forest for the trees. Like, Zach doesn't believe in anything he's talking about. He's playing on a wide mental illness that is apparent in our society. People
Sure.
that are going around looking for conspiracies, looking for answers for things because they don't have any kind, they're nihilists. People are all nihilists, so they're looking for reasons to live, reasons why everything works, reason why for anything. And so Zach is, all he's doing is taking unlimited data sets and comparing them to unlimited data sets and creating parallels between unlimited data sets. There's and arguing with him is faulty, because would you argue with a schizophreniac who created their own imaginary game?
No, man. I mean, look, and I don't argue with him. It's just an interesting thing when he sits there and when Andrew was debating him, Andrew would ask him I asked him a direct question. So I got on there and in the Q&A on the panel portion, and I'm like, hey, sports, his sports predictions are his like bread and butter, right? He's like, that's what we do. We have very good stats on that. And I'm like, okay, who's going to be in the Super Bowl? Just tell me. And he starts this winding ass shit. And I'm like, no, calm down, man. I don't care how you get there. I just want the answer. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl? What two teams are going to be in the Super Bowl? And he couldn't answer it.
But it's the same whole thing. This is what I'm saying. And it's fine. Andrew beat him in a debate. Yeah, but that's not the point. He lost in the idea of it, because look, the reason he goes into that, why this is that, is because he's creating a conspiracy theory. He's playing like, it's the same reason why all these people all over the internet, the Jews did this. It's
yeah. Oh yeah. I love it when they say that, because I'm like, what did they do? What did they do?
But that's my point. It's literally,
how do they control? I love that they control all the politicians, and I'm like literally 90% of the politicians in the country are
Christian.
Catholic.
Yeah, well, Catholic. Most of us. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But
so
that's what I'm
really what you're telling me is the Pope controls America.
Exactly. But
that's what you're telling me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Grit, is it's people literally looking for answers to their own like paradigm, because nobody believes in anything, has faith in anything, so they want answers to why the world works. So they make up these imaginary parallels. It's called apophenia. I posted the link in the back of the video if you want to watch. It literally, it's a mental illness. It's why people think the Jews control this. It's why they think Hollywood controls, and there's a cabal that's controlling the world in the background, and everyone talks, and it's people that are looking for meaning. And that is the biggest issue. And that is the biggest problem with human beings over the last 30, 40 years, is we've lost meaning for living. People are living.
I have a whole new slant coming out. You know what it's going to be? It's all about the Catholics are using mind control technology to convince us that the Jews are our enemies, and really it's the Catholics, because the Pope actually controls all of our politicians, from the president down to our state level mayors and governors. And you just don't know it because the Catholics are so good at hiding it in plain.
I've heard a better one, Grid. I've heard where the Catholics are the ones that found the aliens that crashed, and they have alien technology.
And the aliens are the Jews.
Yeah, and they have the alien technology, and they're controlling everyone. So that I've heard that one too. So yeah, Grid. The internet's a wonderful place of mental illness and sophistry, and just
people. It's not even the internet. It's not just the internet anymore. You see this in the press, man. You read it in like a newspaper.
We're funny creatures, Grid. Like, that's what I'm saying. We're funny little things. And, that's why I think God created us. It's just for his own amusement to watch, like, all these, like, we're funny little things.
Somebody needs to make me the meme of the Jews, the Catholics, and the
Mormons.
The Mormons and the who are the hidden society, guys.
Oh yeah, Grid. God, you're killing me on this.
It's right there on tip of my tongue.
I know. Stop it.
It's you know that all of you can see the signs everywhere. It's on the dollar. They're all over.
I know, Grid. It's not. Oh my God. It's the eye and stuff, right? Yeah, I know. It's the God
Yeah.
damn it, Grid. I can't
The
stop it.
Masons. It's the
Masonry. Yeah,
Masons.
Freemasons.
The
Freemasons. That's it.
Freemasons. It's the Freemasons, and
That's what. Yeah.
it all of the. So what it needs to be is like the Freemasons, the Catholics, and the
The
Mormons
Jews and the Mormons. Yeah.
welcoming the Jews and be like, first day. Wasn't that
Exactly. First day. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
first
Well,
first
and
day
that's what I'm saying, Grid.
for
It's
asserting
really
world
a mental.
domination?
It's a mental illness, and what he's doing, he's just playing off that there's that many people on the internet that you can just babble a bunch of things and connect a bunch of random. Grid, you ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
The Illuminati, the
Yeah,
Illuminati and the Freemasons. I've got to get somebody to make me a meme of all of them on a line with with the anti Freemasonry. Freemasonry controls the world, and Catholics rule the world, and the secret society of so whatever. Rules the world, and this Jew comes up with the anti-Jew, free Palestine era, whatever.
Make a Gimpy that's
He
bringing up the
he's
anti-Jews.
walking up with a sign, and they're like, "First day, you new here?"
Well, no, I gotta hop off, Grid, but I just want to say, look,
Yeah.
it's him taking advantage of a bunch of mentally ill people and making money off of it. It's happened, Grid. This has happened all throughout time. There was a guy in the early 2000s. I think his name was Pierre Trudeau, or not Pierre Trudeau. His last name was Trudeau.
Oh, there's tons of those guys out there.
He had this guy that wrote these books, these health books in the early 2000s, made like $50 million and was later charged by the feds for fraud and stuff. Grid, like I'll leave with this. You ever seen the episode of Always Sunny where Charlie's working in the mailroom?
I don't watch TV, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm gonna send you in your Discord that clip of Charlie putting connecting the dots in the mailroom about this one name on a letter that goes to all these different departments, and he creates this crazy connection grid. It's what you're talking about. You'll die, dude. It's funny, dude. So, anyways,
don't forget the 13 leading bloodlines, Imperius.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Everyone else is just a slave.
Yep. The 13 bloodlines for the 13 moons and the 13 months, Grid. All right, I'll talk to you soon, Grid. Good day, chat. Have a good one. Thank you.
See ya. Yeah, guys, I really got to do that. I've really got to get somebody to make me a meme of all of these people that have been told that they were secretly trying to control the world, and then have the poor Jewish guy walking up and be like, first day, first time here, because it's just the same shit. New year. That's all. It's just another example of if it's not the Freemasons, it's the Jews. If it's not the Jews, it's the Catholic. I'm actually really shocked that nobody goes after the Catholics harder, because legit, like 90% of the politicians and most of the leading money makers and leading businessmen in the country are Catholic, Roman Catholic, and I'm really shocked that nobody's made this connection but me. Maybe I should write a book. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Well, guys, I'm going to have to jump off. I know that I normally go for another. I know that I normally go for another hour, but my wife has got a flight, and I'm really not sure what time we're supposed to leave. So, Arakar Oak, if you can do the meme, jump in my Discord and meme and send it to me. Not meme it to me. Send it to me. If you can do it, that'd be fucking awesome. The rest of you dudes, be cool. It's been a great show today. Really appreciate it. I forgot all about asking for the grift, but we got some anyway. That was awesome. And I gotta head off to help my wife go to the airport. And in the meantime, let me see if there's anybody that I can push you guys to. Who's live? The fuck is anyone live? Guys, who's live right now? That'd be legit. All right, guys, I can't find anybody live right now to redirect you to. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an excellent show. Really appreciate everyone coming out. We ranged far and wide today. I've loved it. It's been really good. I will be back tonight. I'm doing a debate. Should launch around 8 or 8:30. Look for that notification. If you've not subscribed and hit the notification and everything else, you won't get it. In the meantime, be cool. Wear glasses if you need them. Get the fuck off.